Happy Socktober, y'all! We are going to do an on-the-fly video. I saw a pair of hand-knit fingerless gloves the other day, and they had, for the cuff, they had welts. So we're going to do welts. We're just going to do 2 for sake of time on the machine. So I have 2 yarns. This will be easy to find and hang our welts. I already have the machine set up with the bonnet, the waist yarn, and ripcord. And the main color of the glove is going to be pink, so we're going to start with pink. So we're going to have a pink welt, a blue welt, and then a pink glove with the hole for the thumb, which is flat fabric knitting. So let's start. We are going to put our project yarn on, and I'm going to do a 20 row hung hem. So we're going to do 20 and then hang it. Okay. So starting on needle number 1, this is the red mark for my half mark. This is 64. It closed on my ripcord, starting on needle 1. And I should have reset my counter. Oops. All right, 1. Actually, I think 15 might be cooler because the welts that I did on those socks, the 20, it was just too big. So let's do 15. All right, so we're at 15. We're stopping here so we can start hanging here. We want to take our weight off or lift it. It's up to you. Fold the fabric into itself. And this is going to create our selvege edge. So this will close off the live stitches and they won't run. Okay, so it creates a nice selvege edge. So we're going to hang these all the way around. So I thought this idea was pretty interesting. I think on the glove I saw that was hand knitted, oh, it might have been like 3 or 4. They also did shaping for a gusset. They might even had a thumb knit onto it, but we're not going to do that. We're just going to do an open fabric, an open flat fabric with a space for your thumb. That might not be what you want. So you can do gussets on these machines. Andi the knitress has a great video, or shared with me a great video. I can't remember, but if I can find it, I'll link it down below. And then I might, if she doesn't mind, I might crank exactly what she did for you guys. Then you have 2 videos to watch. I think the process of learning from, different videos is helpful. Not everybody's brain thinks the same way as others. So you might learn from one person in one video better than another, or you learn different things from multiple videos that help you. So it's all about process and how it works for you and how you learn. I'm a visual learner, like I like to see it, but I also like doing it at the same time. So it's a mixed bag for me. Like written instructions aren't always the greatest. I like seeing a video. Okay, so we hung that. This downward pressure is on all the ones we hung, but not here. It's not very much fabric, but we're going to hold it down anyway and crank around to the opposite side. Since we couldn't get to these needles, they were down in the cylinder, we couldn't reach them. Just folding that fabric up so the stitch is close to the needle, so you're not pulling real far and real hard and making that stitch very elongated. You don't want to like stretch that stitch out real far. So after we hang this, we're going to crank 2 rows. And then, well, we're going to crank 1 row, change the color in that row, and then 1 row of the next color and then hang. Or not, I'm not sure. Again, I'm doing this one on the fly. Because it's gonna, you wanna, visually, it'll be, I'm changing colors. Now you could do this all in one color. I'm changing colors so visually I can see where to hang my hung hem. Because it's easier to see it when it's a color, different color. I do have a tip that we're going to try later in this video for the top, for when you don't have a change of color and you need to hang a hem. So We started row 1 already. Let's do all the way around. We're going to change. Let's do one more and then we'll change colors on this row because I don't want to, I don't know why. We're just going to. So it'll be 3 rows pretty much. This is my faux Russian join that I'm really messing up here. All right. So catching that tail, and then you have a loop here. You can't see it. There's a loop. And we're going to join the second color. And then we're going to crank 15 rows for that and hang it. All right, so just making a loop through that one of the new color. See? And the tail's right there. Holding that tail up, cranking forward. All right, so that was finishing that 3rd row. So we will do now 15 rows. So let's just reset this so it makes it easier. Stopping at the front, we're going to hang this one now. You don't want the welts to be right on top of one another because then you're connecting a welt to a welt. You need to have a little bit of fabric. That's why I cranked the 2/3 rows. Okay. So I don't know exactly where the color start was, but we're going to just guesstimate, or the first needle, we're just guessing that that's it. Right there. I gotta be close because that's where my, I can see my ripcord right there. Now when you are folding this fabric up, I've said it in other videos when we're hanging stuff, these stitches can like pop off, kind of. So you gotta just be mindful of not pulling too hard, not folding it up too far. Okay. Now we're going to get around here and we're going to have that double tail where it was the color change and it was 2 eventually. Maybe not. Did I miss it? No, it's over here. Okay. So I'm going to try not to grab, well, I don't want to grab the tail. Well, I guess it really doesn't matter. I only want to grab one of those stitches though because I feel like grabbing both would be too much, trying to hang both of those stitches. See, that's where we're at the 2 now, aren't we? Yeah, let's just try to do one and hope it's not the tail one. It might be. I don't think it'll matter. Well, that one I got both. May have gotten that too. It's okay. Now, once we get past here, the previous glove, I was just looking at one of the previous gloves, not this kind, but I did about 40 rows cuff before I started doing flat fabric for where that's going to go. So weight back on so we can finish going around and hanging the rest, holding that tight. Okay, I'm just going to lift it with my legs, pull it forward. So I did about 40 rows. So technically we did 15, 15, and a few rows in between, but that's still not like quite 40. We'll just count that as like 10. So we should probably crank about, I don't know, let's say 30 rows. I don't want it to go way far up the arm, but I don't want it to be too short either. All right. And then the flat fabric was 20 rows. All right, getting all the way around. Not too bad. All right, all the way around. We're gonna do like one row and then change to the pink. So let's reset the counter and do about 30 rows. So we're gonna give Get one row to close off those double stitches fully, and we'll change our color. Doing again the faux Russian join. I just like it. Oops. Except when I pull it all the way back out of the machine. I don't like it then. Alright, catching under a few needles, cranking forward, leaving a loop, changing my yarn. Alright. There's my loop. Alright, let's do 30. That's very tall already. Let me take the weight off and see. We're at 17. Let's do more like 25. Let me write down what I'm doing here so I can kind of match a second one. I mean, I can watch my video back, couldn't I? So it was 15, 15, and then we're gonna do, let's say, we'll do 25. I feel like that's still gonna be too much. Let's do less than that. I don't want it to be too far. My stick. Let's screw it. 25. Do what I did. Do what I say. Do what I said the first time. 25. Well, the first time I said 30. All right, 25 stopping at the front, because now we're going to start our flat fabric. Now, if you did watch the coin purse video, flat fabric, you have to take needles out of work on this side so it stops knitting, so you can then go backwards, and we're going to make our flat fabric right where this blue mark is. Okay, so we're going to take all these out of work. Now remember, our counter is going to click 2 times for every time we go around. It's going to click it once and then click it twice, but that's technically only 1 row, so we will get to 40 on the counter. Okay, so you can put your heel spring on, or you can hold the yarn, so it's totally up to you. I forgot that I did that in a previous on a previous item when I was watching a video back that I had made a while ago. So I'm going to actually just put the heel spring on so it makes it a little bit easier. All right, so we're going to crank around, it's going to stop clicking, and then we're going to crank back to the front. Okay, so cranking around, it's going to stop clicking, and then we're going to go back around, stopping at the front. Because what happens is we need to put these needles down, making sure latches stay open, and lifting up the opposite side. And doing what we just did. Till it stops clicking. You got to make sure you pull up enough. If you don't pull up enough, you'll end up knitting a stitch. Going back. Going slowly past that. All right, so needles down, needles up. You might have to crank forward a little to get them out from the V-cam, okay? Eventually, we're going to put heel forks in there to pull the fabric down. To the front. Needles down, needles up. Taking these stitches out of work so they do not knit. Some people do fancy stuff on these edges. I don't. If I can find a video of somebody that does that, I'll find one and link it below. But I've seen people do that. It makes like a cleaner edge. It's all in preference. Okay, stopping at the front. Now, if you didn't go far enough with the clicking, you won't be able to crank back. It won't let you, because the V-cam will get stuck. Now, when you're putting those needles down, you're not mushing them down. You don't have to mush them. Just enough so they'll knit, okay? That's why they're higher than the ones that are in the front. And here, see how much higher that is? Because you don't have to mush it. You'll end up closing a latch and it won't knit. All right. Back around. Oh, see what happened? I caught that. Went too far. And I caught that stitch. That needle. Okay? Because I went too far. Cranking back. I'm just holding that fabric down. Down. Now I did that the other day, making something. Oh, I was doing a heel or a toe. I can't remember which. And when I lifted the back stitches up, the needles, one of these was down. So when I cranked around, it actually knit like this stitch here. It was very strange. So I had to like unknit it. It was quite a mess. But I did it. All right, I'm going to put heel forks in on the fabric so I'm not hand manipulating it, okay? That's going to put the downward pressure on this. Because it's making this hole, the downward pressure isn't quite there, so you have to like use the heel fork. Cranking to the front, putting needles down. We're at 18, we got to get to 40, like I said. It's going to be a little harder to pull these up when that heel fork is on. Should I have put it on this side too? Yeah, I should. I'll do it after this pass. Okay, let's put one on this side too. Come on. Okay. And they'll move down really fast on you. It's actually surprising how fast they move down. Once you get in a rhythm. I'm talking too much and I'm not in a rhythm. Stops clicking, crank back. To the front, these down with latches open, these up to take them out of work. Okay, these down, these up. Back down, and these up. Just keep repeating this for 20 rows. 40 on the counter. Okay, let's move these forks. Come on, get out of there. These ones down. And these ones up. These ones down. We're almost there. Almost there. Latches open. Wouldn't that be a shame if it didn't knit? All right, down and up. Now I could do a color change for the hem. I'm going to do a hung hem for the top of the glove too, but we're not going to do a color change because I want to show you the trick I do. If I need to do a hung hem and there's not like a stripe, it's a solid fabric, it's a solid color. All right. It's going this way. So take these out. All right, now this is 40, so everything's going to go back into work after we come back to the front. And we're going to go around in a circle. We're going to, what's it, 40? I'm going to do 20 rows, then put in my marker for hanging a 40 row hem for the top. I guess I could do a 20 row hem. Let's do, I was trying to look at this glove. So after this spot here, I did, or is it that way? Now I don't know which way the glove went. I guess it doesn't matter. It was, it's gonna leave a pretty big hole. Some people don't like that. So we're gonna do, let's say 10 rows. Then we're gonna put in a ripcord. Okay, that's gonna be our indicator. And then let's do 40. So it'll be 20 hung, or 20, it'll be folded over 20 and hung. Okay, so that's what we'll do. So we'll do 25 and then flat 20. That's what we did. And then we're going to do 10 and then ripcord and then 40 total and hang. Okay, that's what we'll do. Whew. I'm going to take my heel spring off because I don't want it on through all of this, although I could have left it on through this whole project. So 10 rows. It's making very open fabric, obviously, because of, like, we should be good, but we're just going to do that. All right. 10 rows. And we're going to put in a ripcord so we know where to hang it. So we're going to start the ripcord on, well, the first stitch just closed, but we're going to put a ripcord in. So this is just an indicator. This ripcord will come out, but this will be an indicator. And I've done this before. Let's hope it works. I haven't done it in a while, but let's hope this works, okay? Like I said, this one was on the fly. I didn't pre-try this one. So ripcord is in machine. And we're just going to do one full row with the ripcord in. Okay. So I'm going to give it, come on. It's like sticking on my machine. Okay. Until the last stitch closes. Okay, and then I'm going to pull my ripcord into the machine. This is going to be the indicator of where to hang your hem. Okay, so now we're going to do 40 rows. So we're at 51, so we'll go to 90. That'll be good. Weight's getting close to the floor. Well, this is gonna be a pretty cool looking, hopefully. All right. $90 rows. All right, so now we're gonna hang that hem. So we're gonna take that weight back off. I'm just gonna leave my buckle on because it's the welts are holding onto it. Gotta take this weight off because I forgot about that one. We're gonna fold it into our machine. And we're gonna find that ripcord. All right, so there's our ripcord. We know all right, that buckle's just annoying. Let's take it off. Taking it off. All right, holding this fabric on this side so you're not pulling those stitches off. Finding the ripcord. Okay. And then picking wherever you want to hang it from. Whether you want to hang it from between the nubs or whatever, I'm going to hang between. So all the bumps between the ripcord bumps. Or above the bottom ripcord bump. However you want to look at it. This will get you straight across. See, the problem is, if you're hanging a fabric, if you're trying to hang a hem backwards, because you don't have a starting point, it's visually, for me, hard to tell a straight line across. Making sure I'm picking the same stitch from each column, right? Making sure it's the 40th stitch, the 40th row in each column. But having this visual cue of a lifeline, of a ripcord, I guess it is kind of like a lifeline. Either way, it's a visual cue. If I wanted to make the hung hem on the top of the glove, the blue, I would have just changed to the blue and then hung the first row of the blue. But since I wanted to show you guys this tip/trick, I kept it pink. I kept it all one color so we could do this. Because I feel like when I was trying to figure out, I didn't know what kind of selvage edge to put at the top. Like, I could have just kept knitting a tube, and then put waste yarn on, and then used a crochet hook and pulled the tail through each loop, which really that's kind of, you can do that on this too, this project. Because how do you close off? You're going to do the hung hem, you're going to do one row of your project yarn, and we're going to put waste yarn on, okay? So, cranking it around so you can hang the rest. There's my tool. Okay, pulling that in. And I was doing the loop right above the bump on the bottom of the ripcord. So these bumps, I'm doing the bump right above it. Or between the ones on the top. However you visually see it. Whatever works best for you when you're saying, oh, this is the strand I'm using. Okay. Getting there. We're only going to do one row, and then we're going to put waste yarn on. And then I'm going to show you what I would do to finish this. Okay, last one. All right, we're going to let it down. We already knit these two together, so we're going to knit around so these all two get knit together. Okay. Stopping on the last one. We're going to cut a long tail. Now, if you're going to crochet or latch hook it through, you want an extra longer tail. If you're going to just pull it through with a darning needle, you don't need as long of a tail. You just need it to go around the cylinder one time. Up to you, however you want to finish this, but you need to finish it because these stitches will be live when we take and put waste yarn on. They'll be live stitches. I'm going to use white. That'll visually be easy to see against the pink. I was afraid this pink might blow out the camera, and it looks like it is very bright. And it is very bright. Okay. Making sure going the last 64 knit. Now number 1 is going to knit. Okay. Now remember, we hung that hem, so this is going to be on the inside. This finishing will be on the inside. Come on, waste yarn. All right. We'll take this off and I'll show you guys what I mean. If you just took that waste yarn off, you didn't finish that edge. Oh, I gotta take it off the machine. Hold your weight, crank it off. Okay. The finishing on the thumb hole with the flat fabric does make it look nice if you do that technique. Like I said, I'll try to find a video for that. Oh, sorry. Ready? I'm gonna lift you up. Excuse all my mess. Let me move my stool over here. All right, so we have bonnet, waste yarn, there's our first ripcord. That's going to come out. Let's take that out now. These are hung, so the live stitches are already taken care of. Okay. And whoop, magic. I love that. All right, so these are already taken care of. You just need to weave in this end. So let's just show you. This will be up like this. All right, sorry. The only thing, I should really use Lycra in these because they're a little loose, or use the heel spring the whole time because they're a little loose. They'll be better with somebody for a bigger hand. But so we need to deal with this waste yarn, right? So when we flip it back down, let me just, I'm wanting to put the, sorry, you're seeing my stitch pajamas, okay? All right, we have, this ripcord can come out. We've already, it's done its work for us. Let's take it out. This was holding nothing. This is just was a visual for our hung hem, right? Okay. So what you can do, what can you do? You can take your latch hook, find your, this is your last stitch. This one I just pulled. That's the last one. This is the first one. So if we tuck this in, it's a little easier to see. What you can do, you can put a darning needle on your tail, go through every stitch. That's probably what I will do. You just don't pull it real tight. You leave it just loose enough so you still have the stretch, and you weave in your end. What other things can you do? You can take, this is my latch tool that's kind of like a needle, what the needles are. You could go through the latch, grab the yarn, pull it through. Okay? You could do that. Then you would, no, that doesn't work out real great, does it? Honestly, this is where I struggled. I'm not going to lie. Figuring out how to finish off a top that didn't have a closed toe on it. So, honestly, I would probably, you could take a crochet hook and crochet through it, crochet a chain. Do I have a small crochet hook down here? Hold on, let me see if I have one. I mean, I do. I don't think it's small enough though. So you could go in there, latch it over. So you could do this, okay? Go in the next one, latch it over and pull it through that one. You just don't, you just don't want to pull it tight. If you do this method, don't pull it tight. Leave a very loose chain. So you can do this method. So now that I've started this, I probably will finish. And you just do a loose chain through it. Hope it's staying in focus. We'll do it again. Loop it over. Don't lose it. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay. Latch it over. Latch it. Crochet it over. It's like you're just making like a single crochet slip stitch. I don't even know. But it's making this chain. So if you've never crocheted before, this might not be the method you want to do. Okay, so you would just keep doing that. Go into the next live stitch, grabbing that. I let go of it so it's not pulling it tight because you can't see it. Okay. Going over, grabbing it, pulling it through, giving it a little tug. Not the tail of the tug, but just this tug. Because you don't want it to be tight. Now, if you do this method, like I said, leave a lot of yarn. This was not the I did not think I'd be doing this. Honestly, you can take that tail on a darning needle. Do you guys really want to watch me do this the whole time? Probably not. Should I come back when I'm done? Maybe I should. But if you've never done this before, I guess. And, you know, I'm sorry, I'm a lefty. And if that's visually hard for you to tell what I'm doing, sorry. Sorry. I could stop and flip the video for the righties out there. But you're just going to do this through all 64 stitches. Would it have been quicker with a darning needle? Sure, why not? Just make sure you're not doing that too tight. You don't want it. It also will give a little ridge on the inside when you flip this up. So you might not like that feeling or that look, but I guess it's on the inside. I'm going to pause and I'm going to come back after I've done all these. All right, so I have now crocheted all the way around. Look how much of a tail I have left. Not much. So remember, if you do the crochet method, you need to leave yourself a very long tail, okay? Because that is very imperative. I think I got the last one. I'm pretty sure it's my last one. That was my first one. We're going to take this out. Now, if anybody that's a cranker or not a cranker and you have a better idea of how to create an edge on, say it was just a glove and we left it as a roll top, how would you close that off? Would you just pull it through all the stitches? Would you latch hook it through all the stitches? Please, 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 you know, because this is what you would, if you just left and it would be a rolled edge, you'd have to, you know, secure all these live stitches, right? So I'm sure my viewers would appreciate it. I would appreciate it. So if anybody does know, please leave it in the comments. I think we're all here for learning. It's a good learning experience and everybody's been really wonderful. Okay, so we take that out. We have this crocheted edge that has caught all of our stitches. I got all of them. You would weave it in. We're not going to weave it in right now. And we have a rolled hem. I would have made this shorter. I shouldn't have made it as long. It's okay. It's okay. I will gift these or donate them or something. Okay. Personally, I think they need to be tighter, so the Lycra would be maybe an option, or cranking at a tighter gauge. I really, really liked making the fingerless gloves on my 48 stitch cylinder with DK weight yarn. That was really pretty wild. They fit tighter to me. So yeah, on the fly, a little welted. See, I wanted it to be up here. We should have just done another welt. Look at that. A welted fingerless glove with flat fabric thumb. There you go. Maybe I'll wash them and dry them. We'll see. All right. Thank you guys. Happy Socktober. Happy cranking. And I love seeing what you guys are attempting to make with me. All right, see you in the next video. Bye.